Whether you're a true whiskey fan or looking for a gift for the whiskey drinker in your life, Flaviar is your exclusive backstage pass. Flaviar offers a monthly subscription that delivers a carefully chosen whiskey right to your doorstep.
In addition, their tasting boxes give you a broad array of samples handpicked by the experts themselves.
This holiday season, check out Flaviar's Advent Calendar. Every day in December, you can open a different door to a delicious new whiskey.
Go to flaviar.com/Cinemavino to start your adventure in the world of whiskey. Use promo code Cinemavino10 to save $10 on any purchase of $100 or more. That's flaviar.com/Cinemavino, promo code Cinemavino10. And welcome back to Cinemavino. It's week 2 of our Christmas series. So
Merry Christmas.
glad to have you guys with us. We got Travis Budd,
Hey guys.
Sean Jordan.
Howdy.
My name's Todd Wofford.
I'm going to do more eye contact this time.
If you're punching out
Always forget that you're there.
your Advent Calendar of Cinemavino, we're on week 2.
Yeah, this is week 2.
2 of 4. Open a whole bottle of wine and drink it with us.
So the week 1, we did a Riesling, which is a good way to start off your Christmas meal. This time we're going to do a red Burgundy, a Vin de Bourgogne. This is the Ricotte de Lagne. I'm sure I'm butchering that with my Inspector Clouseau accent, but there you go.
Gerard Depardieu.
Sure it's not Côte de Rhone?
This is a Burgundy.
Burgundy de Rhone?
Mm-hmm. So this is going to be, so for those of you at home who are wondering, a red Burgundy is going to be Pinot Noir. And a white Burgundy is going to be Chardonnay. Always. So it's one of those regions in France where it has to be a particular grape.
One of them there regions in France.
Oh, I guess I should try this.
Got them grapes for wine.
Yeah.
This one's not as juicy as the Riesling we just had.
No.
It's a bit of a flavor shock.
Yeah, It is. This is a great red wine for the same deal. You can do it with ham, do it with turkey, do it with salad, do it with like a lot of stuff that you're going to do.
Do it with ham salad.
Mm-hmm. A lot of stuff you're going to do for your holiday meal. This is
a little dry on the mouth.
Like I just drank a bunch of milk.
Chaps the lips. A little chalky.
It's definitely a lighter bodied red. It's a lighter bodied Pinot. Has kind of a thinner feel to it when you drink it. You know, I mean, if you're going from like let's say a Northern California Pinot, which can have a little more meat to it, this is definitely more of a Beaujolais style Pinot Noir. It definitely has a lighter body.
I liked it much better. That first
Second sip.
Yeah.
That first sip after that last wine was that was a stark.
We don't do the fancy thing where you like cleanse your palate.
Yeah.
We just sort of go from wine to wine and
more on a time schedule. So
yeah, we are uncivilized.
Drinking.
This is school night, so we got a barrel ahead.
This is them Côte de Bourgognese.
So yeah, this is 2022. It's nice and fresh. This is about $20 a bottle. But yeah, if you're looking for a red to do with your Christmas meal, the go-tos are going to be Pinot Noir or Beaujolais, which is a Gamay grape.
I have a Beaujolais right there.
Yeah, that's a great pair. You could reach ahead.
You got a great pair.
You could do a Syrah. You could do something a little more bold, but I would definitely go for a nice chilled Burgundy or Gamay. So, this week we're going to look at Eyes Wide Shut, the final film of Stanley Kubrick, released in 1999. So, Travis, you've seen this before.
No.
You'd never seen this?
I had never seen this.
Put that on Hulk 181. Wow, you never seen? Okay, cool.
First full appearance of Wolverine.
Yeah. And if in case those of you who are wondering at home, that is Travis's equivalent of getting him to swear on a Bible.
Yeah, I don't believe in God or Jesus or whatever the hell you guys believe.
You know what I do believe in?
Hulk. Wolverine.
Yeah, the X-Men.
Hulk.
Travis, can you just sort of...
They give him a good smack on the bottom.
Oh, no, that's gonna... There you go. Catch that guy. Thank you.
I love your kitty. I love his attempt to steal the scenes.
He just needs to be... Hand that to me. I can... Yeah, give me both of those.
The cat and the candle.
Or just the candles.
Mm-hmm. So anyway.
Sir. I had never seen this either.
Yeah. So this is a new one. And I'd seen
Although I own it on Blu-ray, and that's a whole other story.
Yeah. This was the final film of Stanley Kubrick.
He died a few days after submitting.
4 days after he submitted it, the final cut to the producers.
Mm-hmm. This
Or studio? I don't know.
And I remember back in the day, I found some website in the late 90s when I was in full movie.
Okay, we don't need to hear this story.
Yeah, y'all know where this is going.
We get it.
We watched this movie. We know what websites you're.
Speaking of which, Pornhub is no longer available here in Oklahoma. That's bullshit, but continue your story.
Yeah.
Write your senator.
Yeah. Tell me you want Spank Wire at least.
Oh, it's so good.
That's still up.
Or no, Spank Bang. Or was it Spank Wire? You know what? I'll check both when I get home.
They're out there. I remember there was a gossip movie website that I found where they talked about this movie while it was being made.
Moviepoopshoot.com.
I don't remember what it was called, but it was like they had like it was almost like a bulletin board type deal where you could get reliable gossip about movies. And I remember hearing like what a shit show the making of this movie was. This is one of the ultimate like rough movie shoots ever.
Well, Vince D'Onofrio.
It was like 400 days, right?
Yeah, it was 400 days. Vince D'Onofrio told Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman when he found out that they were working with Stanley Kubrick, he told them, like, better rent a home in
Pack
England.
a lunch.
Yeah.
Like, find a place to live. You will be there for a while.
So to put this in perspective, a typical movie shoot will last around 40 days. It could be anywhere from 35 to 55 days is your standard movie shoot length. A big budget, big Hollywood tentpole movie, you might see 100 days. It might be 100-day shoot. Avengers Infinity War.
I was going to say, Avengers Infinity War. Give us that, like, shoot time.
Avengers Infinity War and Endgame were shot back to back over a course of 200 days.
Is that including reshoots?
Yeah, that their total shoot time was 200 days for both movies. Eyes Wide Shut was 400 days.
400 days.
They began filming it in late 1996 and they concluded in early 1998.
Jesus.
And then they spent a year in post-production.
It's like most of Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman's, like, marriage.
Yeah. They were there so long that their kids developed English accents.
Also, why were they filming in England? This was
Kubrick would only
set
film
in New York.
Kubrick had a deadly fear of flying. And so once he went to England, he would not leave.
But didn't he film in the Stanley Hotel?
Everywhere they filmed in there was a soundstage in England.
Huh.
They did some pickup scenes for New York.
Sorry, I was talking about The Shining. Way back when.
But yeah, everything he filmed was filmed in England. At some point in there, I don't know if it was around then, but the last couple decades of his life, he filmed only in England. Full Metal Jacket was filmed in.
I was going to say he wasn't doing a lot of movies back to back. This was 99.
Mm-hmm.
Full Metal Jacket was 87.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's 2 movies in 12 years.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
how it
not.
was.
He was not a prolific dude.
No. Shining was 80. That's the previous movie.
Yeah.
And then I believe Barry Lyndon was the movie before that was like 73.
When was Clockwork Orange? 76?
71.
72? 71?
Yeah. Somewhere there.
We have phones.
Yeah. So, okay, this grossed $160 million against a $65 million budget. Debuted on July 16th, 1999. So
Was it bigger because he had died?
maybe some of it. Now, also, Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman were big draws. They were peak fame.
Shining was 80, Barry Lyndon 75, Clockwork Orange 71.
But they don't wear
Good
big
call.
draws. But they don't wear big.
No, they don't.
Nobody wears big draws.
Uh-uh.
Not in this movie. 2001 Space Odyssey was 68. So yeah, 68 to Clockwork Orange in 71, that's probably the closest he had.
He was more prolific man.
Not even that prolific.
Yeah. So this was based on the novel Dream Story by Arthur Schnitzler.
Schnitzler?
And was adapted and moved up into a contemporary setting by Kubrick and Oscar-winning screenwriter Frederick Raphael. Kubrick was legendary for long, difficult shoots, and this was no exception. Many actors who worked with him, including Jack Nicholson, vowed to never work with him again because of how difficult his movie shoots were. Let's see how we talked about how this movie shoot lasted 400 days, put it in the Guinness Book of Records for the longest movie shoot in history.
Oh, glad it won some awards.
Yeah. The film took so long that I remember hearing about this at the time, that multiple actors were cast in parts, and they spent so long filming that these actors had to drop out, be recast, and the scenes had to be completely reshot. One example of that would be Harvey Keitel, who was cast as the rich, powerful guy that throws the party, that was later played by director Sidney Pollack. Another example would be Jennifer Jason Leigh, who was cast as the grieving daughter at the father's bedside. She was on.
She was a weird actress.
So she was replaced. I can't remember that actress's name, but that was originally the film scenes of Jennifer Jason Leigh. Supposedly Harvey Keitel walked out when Kubrick wanted to film the scene of him walking into that party to greet Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. He filmed it over 100 times. Took 100 of him walking into the room.
Clint Eastwood could never.
Yeah, he's the opposite of Clint Eastwood, where it's like, go ahead, and then they film one take. That's
we got it.
Yeah, yeah. So
is that your Clint Eastwood? That's good.
Well, suppose that's
80-plus-year-old.
That's what Tom Hanks was saying about how Clint Eastwood films a movie, where it's like, and he doesn't say like action or cut. He's like, oh, okay, go ahead, and then they film the scene. It's like, okay, that's enough of that, and then they stop. And then I heard Matt Damon say like one time of like, do you want to do another take for insurance? And Clint's like, why would I want to do that? Stop wasting my time. And then they go on to the next thing. Clint Eastwood's notorious for handing in his movies under budget and ahead of schedule. He's the opposite of Stanley Kubrick.
If only he could turn in his movies good.
Yeah, he's a mixed bag. I have enjoyed some of his directorial movies. Some of them have been.
Give me your top 5
for Clint Eastwood.
Yeah,
I enjoyed Unforgiven. I enjoyed the movie he did about David Jewell, I believe it was. That was out about 3 or 4 years ago. I liked that. I enjoyed Invictus with Matt Damon. I thought that was a pretty good movie.
I remember my first time.
I just love Sean just casually staring down his cat like, fuck you, spray.
I
love him. He's just an asshole right now.
Yeah.
But I even enjoyed the movie he did, The Mule, a few years ago with, I believe it was Bradley Cooper. It was an all-star cast. It was a pretty good movie.
What was the baseball movie he did with Anna Kendrick? Was it Anna Kendrick? Was it Amy Adams?
I don't remember that one. I have to go back. But he has some decent movies mixed in.
I'm just giving him a hard time. Because that time he yelled at a chair.
Yeah. His legacy's complicated in that way.
Yeah. Speaking of which, you guys see Hulk Hogan's coming to the Reasers at 41st and Yale?
I got a ticket.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Is he doing the samples on toothpicks?
He's selling his beer.
Yeah, he's got the Hulk beer.
Yeah.
He's got like you can go and get a hot waiter from Hulk Hogan in the frozen food aisle.
Yeah, you can get your schnitzel.
Check out these corn dogs.
Yeah.
I will, Hulk.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Rip your shirt off, old man.
No. About a nickel for every time I've ever said that in my life. I'd have at least $3.
Tell your daughter to release another Paul Wall joint. Straight fire.
R.I.P.
Musical.
So, for all the big...
Brooke Hogan.
Yeah. For the big production values and high-powered stars, this has a very simple plot. Basically, Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman are an upper-class married couple living in Manhattan. The young daughter. He's a doctor.
Let's say lower upper class.
They're on the rungs of upper class. It gives you perspective when he's talking to Sidney Pollack at the end of like,
who's got the runs?
rungs.
There it is. There's a little slur.
And basically when he hits that orgy at the end of like, he is rich and powerful, or rich and has status, but these people are like notches above him.
Yeah. Next level wealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He carries a lot of cash on him.
Yes, he does. Thank you.
He does.
Too much.
Walking around the streets of New York. I mean, you're planning to get mugged.
I mean, I guess those were the days like you had to have cash.
I guess.
No,
I mean, you got to imagine even then that guy's got to have a black Amex card.
How much cash do you guys have on you right now?
None. I have no cash on me.
Like,
I have a crisp $20 bill, but it's like unfolded.
I think I have $3 in my wallet.
What was I saying?
Something about the runs.
So yeah, you get that perspective of like he is a pretty well off doctor. That apartment they have.
He's doing fine.
If that's in New York City, that's multi-million dollar.
He's a house call doctor to the wealthy.
Yeah. But then you see the people like at that party who are obviously above him. It reminds me of a story of like David Spade talking about how, he ran Jack Nicholson at a party when he was with his girlfriend, Laura Flynn Boyle. And Jack Nicholson's like, I'm going to have to take away your girlfriend now. And he thought he was joking. And then a few weeks later, it's like, he sees Jack Nicholson with his girlfriend on the front of the Inquirer, like going on a date together.
Yep.
And it's like, that's the perspective of like, this guy is like above you in the fame category by a lot of rungs. So, it's like the Star Wars line that there's always a bigger fish,
Upper echelon.
Yeah. And so basically
unless you're Elon Musk, in which case you are the biggest fish and you decide to spend your time being an asshole.
Yeah. Playing Monopoly with real figures. Yeah. So basically they go to a lavish Christmas party hosted by Victor Ziegler, played by Oscar-winning director Sidney Pollack. At this party, Bill and Alice, who are the Cruise and Kidman characters, openly but somewhat benignly flirt with other people once they separate.
How long was that dance?
That Hungarian man hung in there.
Yeah, they were.
He had good, like, 80s communist dictator hair, like the Generalissimo hair.
Yeah.
He had that, like, I just overthrew the government, and
he had coup hair.
What?
Yeah, he did have coup hair. He had like you expect like 4 stars on both shoulders, like,
He had pauldrons. That man needed pauldrons.
There you go.
It sounds like, Todd, you would have let him hit.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you? That accent?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was talking very close with his mouth.
I mean, think about him as a vampire. That guy would have made an excellent vampire.
Have you ever read The Latin Poet?
Was it Ovid? Who did he say?
Fucking no. No one knows who Latin poets are. And then, of course, Nicole Kidman is just like, oh, yeah. Didn't he die alone in a cave?
Yeah.
It's like, you don't know Latin poets. Come on.
The one thing I've noticed about her character was she goes from like 0 to zonked.
Drunk.
Yeah. And then
So drunk,
zero to stoned later.
Yes.
Just zonked out of
Her
her mind.
stoned is, for someone who keeps weed in a Band-Aid tin, she cannot hang.
Yeah. I mean, I told my wife when we were watching, it's like, she puts off the vibe that this is somebody who's never smoked weed in their life.
Absolutely.
I kept thinking that, like, Tom Cruise is going to be like, you know what? Let's just not smoke anymore. Like, we can't handle it. Let's just,
You know what? Maybe we hold off.
We're way too vanilla to be smoking
why
this
don't we
pot.
put this back in the little Altoid can? And I'm going to take it out of here and just give it to somebody at work.
Maybe this is 2024 privilege, but that looked like just terrible weed.
Yeah.
Just trash.
It
Just
did.
garbage.
It looks like 90s weed.
Yeah.
It looks like what they call ditch weed.
Yes. That was clearly what someone sold them for like $5.
Wait a minute. Well, yeah, we're all cool. We know what the cool stuff looks like. And it looks...
No, I mean, in all fairness, the historical significance of weed has changed. The quality has changed drastically. We've got scientists working on this stuff. It's
Zeitgeist.
for the most part, it's legal.
We shoot lasers at the damn thing.
Yeah.
Just get it dialed in.
A perfect, like, just nug
Yeah.
with orange hairs just like shooting off like Dragon Ball Z characters.
That was pretty sexy, the way you pronounced nug.
Nug.
Just a nug.
Meanwhile, they have like what clearly looks like just oregano in like a dime bag.
Yeah, they definitely smoked some oregano.
That's just, and she got blazed.
Yeah.
I'm going to break in here just real quick, just for our viewers at home. Can we talk about Sean's like little jacket ensemble? Like, it's just
my little half zip, my quarter
yeah,
zip.
I like the
Yeah.
And those of you who have the
cross-stitching.
technology and are watching the video, zoom in on that chest hair.
What is this?
Zoom in on
like,
that chest hair right now.
where did we get this? Is this Dolce and Gabbana? Like,
This is Banana Republic factory outlet.
do they make
Nice.
those in a 5X?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably not. Continue. Sorry.
Take a look.
Anyway, it's just
in a
Sean is just dressed to the nines tonight. Now, Sean looks good.
I like your Star Wars t-shirt.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah.
Odd, I like your milk.
Yeah. Milk stains. I came from putting directly from babies to bed, so take from that what you will. So they smoke some incredible pot, and she openly shares some desire she had for a handsome naval officer, even to the point of fantasizing about leaving her family to be with this guy. This puts Bill, Tom Cruise character, into a jealous rage, and he strikes off into the city for a very surreal odyssey over the next like day and a half plus of very strange encounters with all kinds of different people. And this peaks at a masked, very opulent masked orgy where his unwanted, uninvited presence leads to an ugly fallout, a murder and revenge that could put him and his family in grave danger. So that's what I've got for a summary. Sean, I want to hear your summary of what you think of this movie first. You've never seen it.
I'd never seen it.
Did you know anything about it going in?
No. So let me just quickly give you the backstory because I own this on Blu-ray and you need to know why. I had a roommate in college who made it a point to really beef up his Blu-ray collection. He would keep an eye out for deals. Anytime something would go on sale, even if he hadn't seen it, he would buy it. Just really, just scooping up his catalog. So invariably what would happen is he would get a couple duplicates. He had like a drawer that he called his drawer of shame, where any duplicate movies he ended up with, he would stuff in there and forget about the fact that he used to accidentally buy multiples of a movie just because they were on sale. He bought this movie thinking it was a horror movie because it was Kubrick. And he was like, yeah, it's got to be some sort of horror or thriller. Not realizing that Eyes Wide Shut is what it is. I would not call this a horror by any means.
No.
So as a parting gift, when we moved out and he gave it to me, I had it, never watched it.
Did he give you all his drawer of shame?
I think so. Or at least he gave me like the choice of anything from there that I wanted. There wasn't too much in there. But this is the one that I remember definitely like, he was like, yeah, I don't know why I bought this twice, but I did. So you can have it.
So watching it now,
I kind of hated this movie. I did not like this a lot. So if I had to give a summary of this movie, just high level, one sentence, it's that Tom Cruise gets mad that his wife got horny one time.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the entire premise of the movie.
It's fair.
It feels like
Premise of the book too.
I can't watch this movie without the taint of Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman's relationship, which
it's icky watching this.
Real gross.
Yeah.
Real gross, knowing like everything we know about how he was with Scientology at the time, how controlling he was, how like liberated she felt after she was out of this marriage, which they broke up in 2001, I think, which is like 2 years after this came out. So 3 or 4 years after this was being filmed.
Yeah.
Just feels weird. Also, Kubrick, super horny.
Yeah.
Just tits galore in this movie. And normally I wouldn't complain about that. Like, great. It felt egregious.
And even more tits in the original cut of the movie. So very famously, they CGI'd people blocking the sex scenes when they pan around.
It felt like Kubrick was trying, like he remembered the scene from The Shining where there's like the guy with the pig mask just filleting somebody. Guy with pig mask, girl with pig mask, I don't know.
Yeah.
Person in a mask filleting somebody in The Shining and was just like, I can make that into a movie. And he was like, I'm going to find a way to like do a whole masked orgy scene.
And they had one full on dude. It was just straight up Salieri. I was like, I saw that in Amadeus.
Yeah, he was Salieri. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, that's Amadeus.
I will say the guy playing piano was definitely not Mozart.
Also, he wasn't even playing piano. He was playing synth for one, and he was playing like a weird.
Well, it's an orgy. You need synth. Like, look, he played the piano and jazz in the
best
club.
synth I've ever heard.
What music do you think is ideal for your orgy? And what's your orgy vibe?
Synth.
Yeah.
Were you talking like? I
need synth and Gregorian chanting.
Yeah. So I guess this was the Romani language it was somebody speaking Romani doing a Catholic mass backwards.
Ooh. Okay, we'll admit that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
That was a cool scene.
Yeah.
But the masked orgy didn't do anything for me. I think I was just more angry about the motivation of the character of, I can't believe my wife got horny one time. Like, one, he's a dick to begin with. He's a shitty husband. He was acting shitty. He's kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
Two, Nicole Kidman's his wife. I mean, go home to your wife, my guy.
Yeah.
Like, go home to your wife. She's just like at home, just like watching TV, drawing crayons with her daughter, wrapping packages. And he's like out just like, man, sure wish I could get my dick wet.
No.
I gotta find myself this prostitute. Oh, this prostitute's not here anymore. I have no sympathy for him. There's nothing relatable. There's nothing relatable about it. He just sucks.
Yeah.
He just sucks. And like, if you find yourself in like a cool cult orgy fucking go with it, my guy, or leave. Like, pick one.
He didn't even double check to make sure his homeboy Nightingale was actually alive.
Yeah.
He didn't think to like call him.
Yeah. There were no stakes to this. Like, he just sort of like gets stalked on the street by like a dude, and he like reads a newspaper and like looks at him from the side, and then he just like goes home. Like, it is so unconvincing. I was not convinced in the least by this. I didn't get like Clockwork Orange, like creepy vibes. I didn't get like Shining, like something is wrong and this guy is like going mad. It just felt like a dude was mad because his wife got horny one time, and then he just goes on a tantrum about it, stumbles upon an orgy, leaves because he was uninvited, and then he just like throws a hissy fit about it.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't have any sort of like moral revelation about like, oh, this is bad, or like, oh man, maybe like male horniness is ultimately like causing a lot of corruption. Like, look at this guy who's like prostituting his daughter out, or like, look at this woman who like has hepatitis C or HIV. Like, he doesn't learn a lesson. He just ultimately goes home, sees his wife with a mask on the bed, no explanation, cries. And then she, at the end of the movie, is just like, there's only one thing we can do about it. And he's like, what? And she's like, fuck. Fucking credits.
Yeah.
There's no lesson. There's no morals. It's just stupid.
Yeah.
He really should have gone like full,
Five.
Oh,
5.5.
Yeah. He should have, once he got surrounded by everybody and they were like, all right, take off your clothes. If he would have
done it, if he was down to fuck.
Yeah. My thought was like, all right, well, you have to assert dominance. Like, okay, but the mask stays on. The clothes come off.
Yeah.
The mask.
I mean, honestly,
puts back on the mask.
yes.
Drops
He didn't even try to go with it.
Yeah.
At any point in this movie did he try to go with it. He was just being a vindictive asshole. He sucked.
And he's concerned about number one, concerned about himself above all else.
Yeah. And like the whole scene where he was confronted with his dickishness by his patient, who is like his wealthy benefactor, who was like, hey man, listen, I was there. You fucking embarrassed yourself. You gotta fucking stop trying to like look into this more. Like, just, you crashed a party. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I wasn't there. And he's like, dude, I was there. Like, you fucking embarrassed yourself.
Yeah.
Be better.
Yeah.
Like, fuck that guy.
Be best.
Be better.
Trav?
Yeah, I would also say 5.5 on this.
Nice.
It started out like, cool. Nicole Kidman, naked. Awesome. Let's start with you naked.
First scene, but
yeah, let's start with you
and
naked.
I was like,
and you're going to
cool.
start putting on clothes. And what happens in the scene? Okay, we just cut whatever else is happening. But at least 2 or 3 different times, you start naked, you start putting on clothes. Cool. I was like, sweet boobs. And then I was like, sweet boobs. And then I was like, sweet boobs. And then the movie continued and I was like, oh,
got real sick of saying sweet boobs, right?
Exactly. Ooh, piece of candy.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Oh God, it was James Woods. I hate it was the actor James Woods in Family Guy, but yeah, that's how I felt. Ooh, piece of candy.
Also, and just a side note, but like Kubrick only cast like models. There were no like regular boobs in this.
No.
Okay. One of the parts that I enjoyed was they all had masks on, and when you get there,
Welcome to Boob Corp.
I know. I was looking for the girl that was trying to help him that ended up being Mandy. Spoiler alert. I was like, okay, is this her coming in? I was like, nope, those aren't her boobs. Like I've got them locked in now.
You're trying to pair up the boobs.
Yes. Yeah. It's
like a match puzzle.
it's like Clue.
Match the model with her boobs.
Yeah.
But it was hard because in the earlier scene, she was laying down and then she was standing up. Different boob profile.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, this party was really missing like a naked girl laying with sushi all over her. Like
most parties are missing that.
Not my parties.
Right. I felt like some of the acting and particularly from Nicole Kidman in this was forced.
Real jarring.
It was, I mean,
Other than her never being high before in her life.
Right.
Yeah.
Just forcing fights or forcing laughter or forcing it felt performative in that it was either the wife being vicious performatively towards her husband or something. It's almost like that was part of their dynamic of her being able to be like as mean as she could to him and him just, taking it or whatever. But when he leaves and goes to the house with the orgy, when he put on the mask and he walks in and everybody's masked and it's all the elites, I was like, oh my God, this is fucking badass. My nerdy ass went to Batman and the Court of Owls. Have you read that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say it was going to be like Batman's house.
Oh,
Batman's orgy.
oh, that's cool.
Ooh.
But the most interesting, like addition to the Batman lore and villains in the last like 15 plus years has been the Court of Owls, and they're like the elites of Gotham, and they're like in the shadows the whole time.
They made a couple movies about the Owl Guardians, right?
The Guardians of Ga'Hoole.
Isn't the rumor that the Batman movie going to be about the Court of Owls?
Maybe I'm down for that. That's what I was exactly thinking of when I was watching this. I'm like, I saw this and then I started thinking Court of Owls. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And then I saw all the chanting and more boobs.
Did you watch Loot on Apple TV? You should. It's funny. It's Maya Rudolph. It's very good. They do a Court of Owls bit. Sort of.
Nice.
Like Batman? Court of Owls?
Just you continue. All right. You'll have to watch it.
But yeah, the abundance of nipple in the scene made me be like, this is the greatest movie ever.
The Abundance of Nipple.
Abundance
is a Stevie Wonder album name, if I've ever heard it.
It's one of his classic albums from the 70s.
Did you ever watch Abundance of Nipple? Great album.
Yeah.
But I always like the when a actor has a mask on and is only being able to act through the eyes, or you can't even barely see the eyes, so you just have to like kind of guess at what they're doing. And
that's why I like the Power Rangers.
They really, they really have to lean into like looking in the area, and you don't know what they're thinking and whatever. But yeah. How did the one guy like look down and like, okay, this mask is out of place, and I'm going to go ahead and nod at it. Like, what the?
You don't have the approved mask mandates?
Yeah. And the wife also in time
mandates,
or like the partner, she also knows when to nod accordingly. They can't see each other, but they both know like to look down and nod.
Yeah, I don't know if these people like acting in a mask. It's got to be hard, but like your peripheral's gone.
Yeah,
that's true.
They must have rehearsed that. It's like, okay, if somebody we don't know comes in, I nod and you nod. Like, just watch your beak. Don't scratch yourself with your beak.
I mean, they were practicing safe kissing.
Yeah.
Just all mask to mask.
Which I do the same.
Yeah.
I prefer that.
But we kiss after the podcast.
No, which put the mask on.
But yeah, it tried to be a very like noir type story, but a doctor running around.
But with an abundance of nipple.
He was giving his ID out. He was like, "It's okay, I'm a doctor."
Flashing his doctor badge.
I'm a doctor.
Dude, doctors do that?
I'm sorry. I'm a doctor.
Like your Elliot Ness.
Excuse me. I am doctor.
Like a fucking cop flashing his badge.
All right. Yeah. In the movie Snatch, the Russian, what was the Russian's name? Or was it just the Russian?
Oh, yeah.
The guy that owned the rainbow.
Yeah.
I was going to refer to him by his name from Snatch. It might have just been
the Russian. Yeah.
I can't remember.
That guy shows up in a lot of movies of
yeah. And Lily Sobieski showing up out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. She's like, "Hey, I'm here and I'm playing a kind of an underage prostitute."
Yeah. Just crazy.
Blink and you'll miss it.
So the way that I kind of approach this movie, like watching it now, obviously it's well made. It's a good looking movie. It's attractively shot. And it's, I would say it's well cast. If you're gonna make this sort of voyeuristic movie of looking into a troubled married couple, then Cruise and Kidman are probably the way to go. Let's cast a troubled married couple in the part.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's almost too spot on.
I thought also that we were gonna see them like abduct their kid at the very end.
Boris the Blade,
Boris the Bullet Dodger.
But at the same time, it's like you can tell the length and difficulty they had shooting this movie because it feels very uneven and very disjointed.
Yeah, I don't know how you film 100 like shots of a scene and get that performance out of Nicole Kidman.
Supposedly, Kubrick, his theory with all of his movies, especially his later movies, was you break down your actors, film them over and over and over until they're exhausted, to where there's no performance left. And then whatever's there
is truth.
To where they're so tired that all they have left is what's real.
Yeah, that kind of came out on camera.
Yeah, to where
that it was just, there was no acting left.
They're worn out. Yeah.
It was just Nicole Kidman being just deranged.
And so that's why
naked and unreasonable.
A lot of people who worked with him said, I will never work with him again.
Somehow, heartbreak feels good in a world like this.
But to me, it's like, this movie is like a bunch of vignettes that hang together very strangely.
Yeah.
It's almost like an abstract painting where it's like, you have a weird sequence of him in the costume shop, and you have a weird sequence of him with the prostitute, and then you have a weird sequence of the ending sequence.
She has a name. It's Vanessa Shaw. She was a ladybug. She was also in Hocus Pocus.
Yeah. Oh wow! I just put all that together.
I was really hoping we'd see her boobs.
Was that not in your notes?
It was not.
Oh.
And then the ending sequence in the department store, whatever, it's like, this feels like a completely abrupt, very bizarre way to end the movie. And it like you said, it doesn't pull the strands of the plot together into anything.
It doesn't.
The movie just kind of stops.
Yeah.
It just goes,
Yeah. Where it's like in a different sort of way of American Werewolf in London, where it's like the movie runs until it hits a wall and then that's over. This movie kind of ends like a paper airplane that's just kind of flitting to the ground. And there it is.
But it hits the ground at some point.
Yeah.
It's like a bouncing tennis ball that just kind of rolls and it keeps rolling and it keeps rolling.
That's a great way to put it.
Slows.
It just keeps going and going until it stops.
Yeah.
And then you cut to the black.
But it stops so slowly.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, I guess that's something that happened.
Mm-hmm. But it doesn't even have momentum from the start.
It does not.
There's no, the motivation that starts this whole movie, again, is she gets high and says, hey, I got horny one time.
Yeah.
And he goes, the fuck you did?
Yeah.
And then goes off on a whole fucking odyssey.
Yeah.
Literally.
Well, then
he goes off on a fucking odyssey.
She also has a dream and says, I was getting banged by a whole bunch of guys and I was laughing at you.
Mm-hmm.
And you
Which,
caught me
for one,
and woke me up laughing at you.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
2, he's an asshole for putting her on the spot and being like, tell me what your fucking dream was about.
Mm-hmm.
And then he, again, gets mad about the content of her dream. And then he's like daydreaming in the taxi all the time, like imagining the fucking boat captain ravaging her.
Again, the name of the French story that this was adapted from was Dream, right?
Dream Story. Yeah.
Dream Story.
But like the very beginning of the movie, she's dancing with the Hungarian and she's like, hey man, listen, I'm married. Back the fuck off.
Yeah.
He's flirting with 2 models and he's like finding out where the rainbow ends. And then he gets called off to do doctor work.
Well, I thought everything that happened after he left the house, or his patient or whatever, I thought that was going to end up being in the dream.
Yeah.
Like I thought the whole thing was going to be a dream.
Mm-hmm.
But
I have never sympathized with a main character less in this movie.
Totally unrelatable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help that, again, Tom Cruise, lifeless eyes. I
like
just,
a doll's eyes.
this is like
Balls were white.
peak Tom Cruise, like jumping on couch era.
Yeah.
Like he's in the Scientology machinations.
You don't feel anything for him.
Carrying too much cash on him and showing his ID to way too many people.
Flashing his ID like he's a big shot.
You're a coffee barista. Well, listen, I'm a doctor. I'm looking for my buddy,
I'm a doctor.
Nightingale.
I'm a doctor.
Can't you just tell me?
Hey,
and Alan
costume
Cummings
store
shows
owner.
up.
I'm a doctor. Yeah, Alan Cummings.
Yeah.
Like that. He was a good actor.
And then telling people that he, has important tests to share. And like,
Yeah, he's out here big timing people.
yeah.
And then he gets big timed by his patient. And then he's like, oh.
And he's lying in a way that would get him like, probably stripped of his medical license.
Yeah, I don't know if that's above board.
Yeah.
HIPAA would have some things to say to him.
Yeah. So I would put this rewatching it at a 6.
Okay.
And we were both a 5.5.
5.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck
Yeah.
this movie.
This is
Fuck you for making us watch it, Todd.
No, I
we both
appreciate
say-
you making me watch it because I owned it on Blu-ray and I wanted to know.
But can we both say fuck you to Todd at
Yeah.
the same time?
Ready?
1, 2, 3, fuck.
Fuck you, Todd.
I know what the stinger is going to be for this episode. But yeah, it is a Christmas movie. I mean, it is heavy with Christmas lights.
It is Christmas.
Thumbnail.
I would have expected New York to be Christmassier,
Yeah,
like the city. It was.
but this is
They didn't do the whole like 30 Rock like
this
Christmas
is the
tree.
soundstage in New York. They built this. I want to say it was Nebworth Studios in England,
Guys,
or Pinewood, one of the others, but like a massive soundstage.
we haven't done a thumbnail capture yet for one of these YouTube videos. Can we do it live on the thing?
What's it gonna
Like, are we yelling at Todd but look at the screen and 3, 2.
All right.
There we go.
I don't think
at
that's a pause for that one.
Thumbnail.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Enjoy that at home. But this has been another episode of Cinemavino.
Yes, it has.
We're drinking a Bourgogne. Very nice.
Yeah.
Récolte de l'année. I'll spell that for those of you who are looking for the YouTube version of it. 2022 Pinot Noir. Very nice. $20.
French Pinot.
Yeah. Great for the holidays. But yeah, next week we're going to look at a Bill Murray classic, Scrooge, for the season.
Oh, I thought we were going to do What About Bob?
And another Bill Murray classic. And then we're going to do a recent movie, The Holdovers. So, Paul Giamatti. So,
Hey, that was the Best Picture nominee.
I already watched it. I don't want to watch it again.
Yeah, that's
but yeah, great movies. Only Drunker. Sean Jordan, Travis Budd. My name is Toddy. We'll see you guys next time.
fuck you, Todd.
Fuck you, Todd.